All right. As far as the injuries go, Bucker and Dana will be listed as out. Everybody else practiced. Had a good practice. I look for the challenge of playing the Colts. Guys have worked hard this week. So, again, we'll get ready. We'll finish up tomorrow and go get ready to get on the plane and go down there. Time's yours.
Coach, the Colts obviously been scoring points last week. That's not their nature to go do that. But you can't ever overlook anybody, right? We know that much of it. How do you make sure that you keep your guys focused? You've been very good at that for years.
Yeah, so one advantage we had, I guess, was that we had a chance to watch everybody play. And in this league right now, if you didn't know it before, in this league, there's so much parity, and it doesn't matter what Sunday it is or what the record. I mean, it doesn't matter. So you have to prep hard and do your best. And so, that's what I expect our guys to do. Anything less, and you put yourself in jeopardy of not winning the football game. So that's how this league is.
Andy, with the short yardage situations, after talking to a couple of offensive linemen, they said some of the teams just kind of really just scouted out the plays that you'd like to run. Do you kind of revisit the playbook there, try to get a little more creative? What do you try to do to make that stuff work?
Yeah, so, probably. I'll just leave it at that.
Andy, with Mike Dana not playing, you're getting another guy in that defensive end rotation. Josh Kano, is he the next guy up?
Yeah, he's not right now, but we've had more than we needed right there. But we'll let 94 jump in there and get a couple reps too, so potentially.
How's Harrison progressing? I know earlier in the week you said that you just needed time for the swelling to go down. But
it's still swollen a bit, but he's making progress. He's working on his swings now, but pretty, it was a pretty good sprain. Swole up on him and getting all that out of there. It's going to take a minute, so hopefully he's ready to go next week. But listen, the kid that Amandilla, he's doing a great job.
With Dana out, George has had a really nice start. I know it's always about the next game, but how pleased has the personnel staff been so far with that, late first round selection and just what you've seen so far?
Yeah, he works so hard. He's relentless on every play. He'll need to be that this week against a real good offensive line. But for a young guy, your hat goes off to him. He's worked very hard, and he works hard every day, every snap. So, and then he's learning as he goes.
And you had that 4th and 1 play where you kicked the field goal. You had the break in between the quarters. I just wonder when you get a chance to talk to Pat, how much does he weigh into that decision too?
Yeah, well, we just kind of huddled there and talked a little bit, but actually I was back, but I had my headset on. So, but just thought at that time that it was best if we just kicked it. But we talk. Yeah, I mean everybody communicates there. So.
Is that part of it, the analytics and those decisions? That part that you're talking about is something you can't get out of numbers, right? There has to be some sort of a feel or a vibe, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So, I mean, the analytics folks, I would tell you that's the time to go for it, which I understand. And normally we do, but that was the time I just felt like points on the board were important. Put us in a position, I believe, to tie the score. So, and at that time, we needed those points. So I went that direction.
The fact you guys have been behind most of the game, and this would put you in a position to get even again. Was that a pretty?
Surely didn't. And I know I'm going to say the word momentum, and that's not great with analytics guys either. But that's that's where the feel part comes in. This time it turned out to be the right thing. But, that's how I felt.
You can't calculate feel, though, right? I mean, that's what it is. And does it frustrate the analytics people? I'm not talking specifically about that situation, but just in general, you have to have something because you're the 51%, right?
I don't know. I only talked to one of them, and he was good. So he wasn't frustrated. He knew the fact that that's a go for situation, and we talked about it. But it was just something I felt. And if we blew the game, it was my fault. But that's okay too. I mean, that's the part of it you got to weigh out.
You're only
Was the other side of that
51%.
was the other side of that Mike?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're only 51%.
well, yeah, that's plenty.
All right, take
All right, guys.
All right.
All right, guys.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Fire away.
How are you feeling personally?
Feel great, man.
You feel great?
Yes, sir.
Getting through it. Attitude-wise, you guys are 2-0. It hasn't been easy, right?
Yep.
The last game was hard, but how do you, as a group of guys, make sure you don't look over and see a team that struggled and think, well, you can just go beat the team?
Yeah, it's sort of you get that question a lot. At the end of the day, we're in the National Football League. You can't take any team lightly. They get paid at the end of the day just like we do. And this is a very talented team we're facing, regardless of record, which shows, they're going to come up, they're going to show to play. So at the end of the day, as a team, we just go to work every day, do what the coaches tell us. We strive for perfection. We're going to fall a little short, but we're just going to be the best we can be every day.
When you, as a player last week, you were off on Thursday. The league was crazy on Sunday. A lot of weird things happened. How did you consume football on Sunday? Did you pay attention? Were you red zoning it? Were you watching games?
Yeah, I do a little bit of a lot. I'm on my video games most of the time, but then on my other monitor, I got the games going. Then I have my friends hitting me up. Then I'm watching Twitter. So always around it to some capacity. Not like the usual just sit down and watch it, but always watching something.
Understanding that the Chargers are a tough front, I know that there's probably points of improvement that you guys wanted to take on this week. What were the points maybe from Andy Heck just about what you guys as a whole could do a little bit better?
Yeah, I was put on myself just execution and then just consistency. Just striving to be a better offensive lineman. Those two facets, and you'll show the different results will show up on the field and on tape.
Trey, specifically to the Colts, what are you seeing out of their defensive line that you got to look out for?
Yeah, great defensive front. Guy like Forrest Buckner, Grover Stewart. Great players, great run defenders. It's going to be a great challenge up front. It's going to be a fun game, but they're excellent football players.
The coach just ruled out Shaq Leonard. And I know he's a guy that you always have to keep an eye on, but how much does this change the dynamic of what you guys see in the Colts defense?
Yeah, man. I guess for us, whenever someone goes down, it's a next man up mentality. Once again, they're another NFL football team, so they'll have someone in there that's fully capable. For us, it really doesn't change anything. We have to go out there and execute at a high level and pretty much just do our job. But at the end of the day, we just have to execute and do our work.
When you guys have seen a little more blitz maybe this year than last year. It's only a couple of games in. It's a shell game every week, right? You don't know what you're going to get. Have you been surprised at all that you've seen as much pressure coming in the first two games as more than you saw last year?
Not entirely. Just something that a lot of teams do. Just sort of expected. We're always prepared for it, but I wouldn't necessarily call it surprising because, at the end of the day, Coach Heck, Coach Matei, they do a great job in blitz meeting and making sure we're all fully prepared for what we face.
When it starts happening, like the Cardinals did a lot, right? You get to feel early in the game that this is how it's going to be all day long.
Yeah, you can.
You just better be ready for it, like at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. You can sort of feel team tendencies. A lot of times, especially if you miss one, they'll go back to what works. But obviously, if you shut it down, it's sort of unlikely they'll keep doing it. But you definitely can get a feel for it in games.
Okay, thanks, Trey.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Safe travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
They weren't on?
He's out here.
They weren't on?
No sound?
Well, they got
You just want to see the lights. Maybe some lights.
Someone was turning them off. They were on earlier.
Wanted someone
Someone probably leaned up on
leaned
it.
on it. Probably one of the PR staff.
It wasn't us.
Yeah, it's still okay.
Very little. Good fun.
I wonder if that spread is going.
Yeah, it has to.
All right, guys, go ahead and fire away.
So George, this is a little bit of a homecoming for you, if you will. You kind of remember playing or watching the Colts on TV when you moved to Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, I was basically growing up, moved to Indiana. I was like 13 years old, but definitely, that's kind of like the home, Indiana's team, if you will. And yeah, definitely watch them and all that stuff. So it'll be cool to play there.
Was that kind of like watching your introduction to football, and then as you start playing football?
No, I mean, I'd say that was more Purdue for me at least. I just knew of the Colts, wasn't a huge fan or anything like that. Just a Purdue fan. When I moved to Indiana, started watching football. So that's about it.
Did you ever go to a game there?
I've gone to one, or no, I've gone to two. Yeah, I've gone to two.
Yeah. How old were you? Do you remember the games? Anything?
Last year, I
Oh, just last year.
went to the Buccaneers game last year, and I think I went to the Jets game like 2 years ago.
What kind of losses Dana not being available this week?
Coming in.
What kind of losses Mike Dana just not?
I mean, it's a huge loss, but our mentality is next man up always. Mike brings a lot of things to the table. He's very versatile. He's a great player, and can do a lot of things for us and help us win. But just like I said, it's next man up.
Back to talk is even when you have some success in games, you're walking up to him telling him what you did wrong. I guess since you become a pro, what have you really learned about yourself and ways to grow?
Just all about consistency. It's all about a routine and being consistent. Doing the same things each and every day, and never getting worse. It's always about getting better in one way, shape, or form. That's really what it's all about. Just being consistent in your technique and what you bring to the table and your energy level each and every day. And that's hard. That's hard. That's easier said than done. So all about consistency at this level.
The Colts have a really good offensive line, but last week they gave up 5 sacks. Might have been circumstantial, right? They were behind and had to throw the ball a bunch. But does this look like when you prepare for an offensive line and a quarterback and a set of receivers that you guys should be able to get some pressure on? Then
Yeah, I mean, I
get
think-
to the quarterback.
Yeah, I think when you talk about the Colts, you got to bring up their running back first. It's so a lot of attention on actually really both their backs. They have really two talented backs really that we've watched on tape, and that's where it all starts for them. It starts with their run game, and for us, it's all about stopping that and then getting to third down and stopping their passing attack. So we're really focused on stopping the run and then getting to the quarterback. And I think we have little packages and little things that we'll be able to do that when the time comes. But it all starts with stopping the run.
Did you, in Big Ten times, did you play against Taylor when he was at
I
Wisconsin?
played once. I played against him once. Yeah, my freshman
We
year.
were talking to Leo in the locker room the other day. He said in practice they didn't allow him to tackle him. Did you have any times you remember tackling him in the game? He have a big game against you?
I recall a fumble against him. He tackled me. I'd never tackled him, but he tackled me.
What was that play? He tackled you. You come from tackle you, or you're just like, wow.
Yeah,
this guy-
we forced the fumble on the other side. He fumbled it, and I scooped it, and then he tackled me from behind. Yeah,
He was able
I
to
never-
catch you?
I was just kind of trying to get the ball more than anything. I was
You
a
weren't fully
freshman.
running yet. You never-
Yeah, right. He was close enough, and yeah, that's I didn't tackle him, but he tackled me. So interesting.
How many people will be there Sunday, George, to sort of watch you?
A lot, just my family alone, probably like 25 or so. Then I'll have like my high school coaches, I think my college coaches and friends and stuff. They'll have practice, So definitely a lot of people, a lot of friends, family, that sort of stuff. And they'll be excited to see me. I haven't seen them for quite some time, so it'll be cool.
Have your folks gotten a chance to see you in person yet?
Yeah,
the first 2 games?
my mom was here last game, and she came to Arizona too. So that she's been coming to games and stuff.
Have they all fully converted to Chiefs fans now? Even the guys who aren't your family? Probably grew up Colts fans and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are still Colts fans, but they'll support me. I think they're more George fans than anything, So
What are the conversations like, and how proud are they of you with your just initial year in the NFL?
I mean, it's still pretty early. I don't really ask them about how they feel like I'm doing. It's like they'll always say, "Yeah, you're doing great," and this and that. But I'm not doing it to impress them. So it's not. I don't really concern myself with that.
Yeah. George, in terms of like your guys' scheme so far, you guys have been successful running stunts. And just how often did you do that at Purdue, and why do you think it's been so successful for you guys so far?
Stunt like what kind of stunts are you talking about? Are you talking about in the pass and the run?
Yeah, I guess the pass.
Against the pass, I mean, I don't know how many stunts we've truly done. We do them as a switch up. Some at Purdue, it was a little tough, for us because we would run a lot of stunts, but then they'd I felt like they keyed in on me, particularly. So we try to do stuff to free me up a lot. So I wasn't running as many stunts. It was more like end of the game, and I'd come free, just because we were low on home sleep, and they do it with the other guys, and they'd run it with me, and then I'd get a couple quarterback hits late in the game. Had a good one against Iowa when we beat them. But yeah, I mean, it's been good, rushing with guys like Chris and Frank and Carlos and like Churk and Mike and everyone that gets in there. It's great, and they do a great job freeing me up, and I hope they'd say the same thing about me.
Great, thanks, George.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Right. Yo, what's your ETA on that, your report?
I got it in my pocket. So
Okay.
For you,
that's it.
Is it open till 1
Sideline was close.
I would think
We got about
10 minutes. 10 minutes maybe.
I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
close. Obviously, the Niners like last year there, just to get a taste of it, and to come short.
Yeah. Also, but like,
Nut punches?
what man doesn't react?
I didn't. I don't want to get punched in the nuts.
Exactly.
I called that for one.
All right.
Talk to you.
Bye. Adios. Everybody be safe traveling.
one of those will pop up.
Anybody talk while you're in there? What'd you say? Anybody talk while?
Not like a scrum.
Yeah.
Everybody with butt ass neck.
That's the problem. Why did I do this? I don't care, son, John.
Huh?